What up, guys? That Comic Awesome here with another review doing Moon Knight 191. And holy crap, this is look, this book, this picture of a house burning is a metaphor for this book. It is a hot, flaming piece of trash. And I don't say that just because Max Bemis blocked me on Twitter. I feel like Max Bemis has done the exact opposite of like what Chip Zdarsky did. Chip Zdarsky, when he first started writing Spectacular Spider-Man, little childish, little cutesy, but then turned it around. Most Wanted is probably one of the most engaging, strong-willed, very assertive Spider-Man, and it's probably one of my favorite series now. This has done the exact opposite. The first couple issues of the Legacy run of Moon Knight, I was like, wow, this is good. There's some psychological twists. There's some really great elements to it that I've enjoyed. And in fact, again, even though Bemis blocked me last time, I still picked up the last issue. And so I was like, you know what? The book is good. I'll still buy the book, even though the author is a piece of trash. This makes me not want to buy this anymore, because this is such identity politics and really just horrible stuff. Like, it's to the point where I don't know if, like, actually I do know. It's not even like in a mocking tone. Like, this is such just awful SJW hot trash. So let's get in and I'll explain exactly what I mean. So there's Moon Knight, who has multiple personalities, and this new villain who was a psych patient who was put there because people said he burned people alive. He didn't remember doing it, but he had the burns on his hands. Well, it turns out he has the ability to control fire. And he has a link to the sun god Ra. Last issue was explained that these two, Ra and Khonshu, who lives within Mark Spector, have dueled it out over the course of forever. So we kind of get this, not a catch-up page, but hey, this is what's the inner struggle of what's going on. And it starts off with, there are always these two great gods. And it's like the first one is very spiritual. The elemental, a tangible idea, a sum of thoughts and time and emotion. And of course it's a she, and she's powerful and all this and that. And then, of course, you get the other god, who's a psychopath. Bad. He's a man. He's a man, and that's bad. And he's everything physical and strong, and the patriarch. So bad. He's bad guy. It's like, there were so many eye rolls in this first page that, like, I was like, I almost want to just put it down. I wanted to put it down and start a review like by page 5, because that's all I could stand. And I kept going, and it didn't get better. So again, you have the two gods, the feminine, wonderful one, and the mean, masculine one. And then, of course, you have like the staging ground of the face-off, and then shit hits the fan. You got your catch-up page, which does a good job kind of getting everything going. So this is where I ran into some other problems. So, shit hits the fan. Sun King kind of sets the house on fire. This is Mark Spector's ex-girlfriend, who they have a kid together that he didn't know about. So the plan was they were going to kidnap the girlfriend and the kid to get Mark to come out of hiding. So Mark grabs the kid, just tells Marlene, his girlfriend, hey, out now. Notice too that there's a sliding glass door behind her, and she's just like, I'm going to stand right here. So he grabs the kid, walks outside, just sets her down on the step, and has a little pep talk. Meanwhile, there's gunshots coming through the door. You know, you're not going to like run around the house, get her like a little out of safety. So then he goes back inside, and somehow, from being between them, running outside, he is now on the other side of them. The positioning is so bad. Like, you know, the art in this is okay, like, but whoever edited this together should have been like, how did they get from here to here? Like, he's on this side of the flames, now he's on that side of the flames. And so then there's just some punching and kicking, and he gets shot. And then he just, whap. No. Smack Nazis. Smack. So, this is what else is funny. So, they're holding the girlfriend at gunpoint, and they're like, you know, the common thugs, you know, the red shirts over here. And they're like, don't fight, lady. We're the type of guys that are willing to kill kids. We gotta prove it to you. So if they are, then it's like, why is it taking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 guys? I mean, why didn't they kill her like right off the bat? So then, of course, you know, some fighting ensues. Yow! Yow! My pants! Yow! So bad. Like, Hank takes off his pants and throws it at him. Then, in some, you know, he's like, you know, that was dirty, Mark. And he's like, he puts his Moon Knight mask on. And he's like, God, yes! Ugh. So then they fight. And then, like, even, like, thinking about what's coming up is making me laugh. Because the dialogue on this is so awful. So then, so they're fighting in the backyard. And then the little girl comes around the back and she's like, hey, I want to be shy, but you're burning down my swings. And it's like, it's so bad. I want to be shy. Who wants to be shy? No one wants to be shy. If you want to be shy, you have something wrong with you. Like even a shy person doesn't want to be shy. They want to be outgoing, but they're afraid. They're afraid to be outgoing, so they're shy. It's I want to be shy. This is indicative of who Mac Bemis is, like right here. Max Bemis is this little girl who's like, I want to be shy. I'm not an SJW. I just want to... But then when on Twitter and stuff and in my book, I can be mad and I can yell at people for burning down the swings. And then Ra, of course, or the Sun King's just like, she's cute. So he Moon Knight picks her up and runs away. And he asks what her name is. And her name is Beatrice. And again, this is... Oh, I'm going to read this. You know, what's your name? And he's like, Beatrice, because that's a ridiculous name. Sorry for anyone named Beatrice. That's a ridiculous name. And he said, and she goes, Mommy let me change it to whatever I want it. That is just effing awful. This is like I'm going to assume 5-year-old little girl, and you're going to let her change her? My name is Princess Felicia Tanisha Wadisha. It's like, what? Like, no. Your parent, if you, like, if I have a kid, when I have a kid, name them, and then if they want to change their name, when they're 18, they can change their name to whatever. They could ballpark Franks if they want to. I don't care. But that's when they're 18. Just because they want to change their name when they're a kid, no, they're not going to. No, that's stupid. Also, you get shot in the shoulder and then it just magically, like, stops bleeding. Like, you get, like, the one little blood splot. So, then, of course, they go back in the house. The mom's gone. This was, like, the first time. Hey, everyone, this is the first time I'm never going to complain about a double-page ad because... Thankfully, it gave me something interesting to look at. I was like, oh, all right. So then we go back to his apartment where she's just, you know, being a 5-year-old. And again, little girl with pink hair. We know exactly what kind of parent is raising this child. You know, and she's asking all these questions. She's like, "You're not a superhero," and she kind of figures out that that Mark is her dad, and she's just like, "Oh, you know," and Mommy said my daddy was a superhero, and you're not a superhero. Blah 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 blah. And it's funny because then Jake is like, "Geez, you're really effing this up." So then, you know, she's like, I like Katy Perry, and he's like, how about some Dazzler? And then this is Max Bemis putting himself on the page. So there are these prison guards, and the fat guy's like, you know, it's not just that you work for the government, it's the fact that your name is Nick, and you work for the government, and you have an eye patch. You know, and it does remind me of Office Space with Michael Bolton. You know, it's like, why can't you go by Mike? He's like, why do I have to go by Mike? You know, it's like, it didn't matter until that, you know, that douchebag started winning Grammys. It's like, why do I have to change my name? You know, just because, you know, I work for the government, I have an eye patch. Why does everyone call me, like, you know, make fun of me? It's because you look like, you know, because you're Nick Fury, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, so he ends up letting out the truth, you know, and then there's, I don't want to go too far, but this is the next. So Mark has a little inner meditation in which Khonshu tries to explain who Ra is and like why he's bad. And this is Max Bemis, who hates God and everything about him, and he has now put this on that page. This is a comic book, and this part right here, this went from I struggled to read this. Like, it is just awful. It essentially goes down in here. So the old ones congealed in their new environment, simply became one spiritual entity, the source of persecution, toxic pride, and true depravity. That's this, apparently. So what he's saying is that God is the source of persecution, toxic pride, and true depravity. And he even says when God is invoked in the name of hatred, despite the true meaning of the ignorance fueled has the opposite meaning of the word. And it's like, so this person here is hate in the patriarch. Max Bemis, you are a piece of trash. You're an awful human being. You know what? You're a good writer if you could remove yourself from your writing, but you can't. You know, and so and he goes on, pretty much the only reason why this God exists, you know, that God that the Egyptians prayed to keep their slaves in line, their coffers full, and the beasts of civilization unchecked. So essentially, God is toxic pride, true depravity, and is only exists to keep slaves in line and the coffers full of the rich, and to keep the chains of civilization rolling. That's what Max Bemis is saying. F you. That is awful. Why would you put this in a comic book? I mean, it's this right here. This is why I am not going to read another issue of this, because up until now, the writing has at least been decent. There have been a couple eye roll moments here and there, but this book is literally like effing awful. Like, there is so much agenda pushing in this book. It literally took everything that I had to finish reading it. But I'm gonna end it there. But needless to say, it keeps getting worse and worse. Hit me up in the subs. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Watch some more videos over here, and I'll see you next time.